And so I'm interested in this magical, I don't know if you would call it a double life or a divided life of being in both the US and Trinidad.
And Trinidad,
and you know, the home Trinidad feels so present in the work, but I know if it's only 2 months out today, he's spending 10 in Brooklyn. So, so talk to me about that, you know, just that as an experience, but also an aesthetic.
But remember that where I live in Brooklyn, I might as well be
in Trinidad.
Because all the smells, everything, on a Sunday you walk through that part of Brooklyn, it's just callaloo.
I read that line and I was just like, oh man, when I cook callaloo, he's like, what's that?
It's there, all the smells. I'll give you an example. I have a friend, he's since moved back to Trinidad. His nickname is Snake. I can't even remember his proper name. But he worked at the airport. So he used to have to go to work very early in the morning, right? And his route to work took him right past my building, right? So he knew exactly where I live, and he would come to that intersection, right? And he would put on the loudest calypso. So I'm laying, at 4 o'clock every morning, I'd say, here you go again, you know, and he'd turn it up real loud, you know, and he'd play, he'd know what I liked, he just play. I say, boy, this is better than home, right? This is.
I thought he was going to say he honked, but no.
No. He put my playing calypso, and then he'd say, you hear me this morning? He said, he also, I listen to the stories that people tell, you know, and I try not to steal them, but try to sculpt poems out of them. I remember him playing mass in Brooklyn, right? Putting on costume and so on. And you know, there's not a legend, but there's a fear in Trinidad about, they tell people don't play Egyptian mass. Don't ever dress up in Egyptian costume. There's sort of a curse with that anybody who play Egyptian mass, something happens. It happened to so many people after George Bailey played Relics of Egypt that people started believing that it's a dangerous thing. But this same Snake played like a pharaoh on Eastern Parkway in the carnival, and he told me this story about walking. Let's say the carnival is over, say at 7 or 8 o'clock. He walked until 4 in the morning and couldn't find his house, and he lived right in the area. He said he kept walking and walking. He said he knew something was the matter when he passed for about the 6th time some guys playing dominoes sitting there, like some Jamaican guys. And he said, one of them said, the man have just passed here, man in trouble, you know, the man in real trouble, because he had seen him walk by there so many times. He said he finally got home like about 4 o'clock in the morning. And he lived right near Snyder, near the cemetery, and his wife said, where you been all night? But he had on that Egyptian costume. So anyway, I'm tying all of this together to say, you know, that you pay attention to all the stories, and you begin to create myth in the poem, right? Because myths came from someplace, and it doesn't mean that we can't still, we're producing myth every day, right? All the time, you know. So I think that's what happens in some of these poems, you know. I begin to listen to them almost as if they were not just ordinary stories, that ordinary people create myth and legend.